Today we will go through a list of the top 10 most famous people ever. There are many significant people who lived throughout history and who are still alive, but for the purpose of the video, we have chosen 10 who had a great impact on humanity. We will start with number 10. William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was born in 1564 in England. He is still to this day considered one of the most famous authors of all time. During his life he wrote 37 plays, 154 sonnets and many poems. He married his wife, Anne Hathaway, at the age of 18 and they had 3 children. Shakespeare moved to London while he was still young, in the 1580s. Apart from being a famous writer, Shakespeare was also an actor. He performed in some of his own plays but also in playwrights of other writers. He also became a wealthy man during his lifetime, and formed a joint stock company. King James I loved Shakespeare and asked for court performances many times. Shakespeare also had his own family coat of arms. He died in 1616 on his birthday. Some of his most famous plays are Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, King Lear, The Tempest and A Midsummer Night's Dream. He still remains one of the most famous writers. Next on our list and number 9 is Mahatma Gandhi. He is known throughout India as the father of the nation, and he was a powerful voice of peace during a volatile time in India's history. His actions eventually led to India gaining independence from the British in 1947. Gandhi was born in 1869. He fought for much more than just India's independence. Some of his causes were also civil rights for women, abolition of the caste system and equality for all people regardless of religion. He was married at the age of 13 and that was a pre-arranged marriage. Him and his wife had 4 children before he took a vow of celibacy. Gandhi also attended law school in London. He lived in South Africa for 21 years and was imprisoned many times. He was assassinated on January 30, 1948. More than 2 million people attended his funeral. His life inspired the thinking of many world leaders, and his wisdom and teachings are often quoted. Number 8 is Nelson Mandela. He was a South African anti-apartheid activist, who served as the first president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He was the first president to be elected in a fully representative election. Mandela's government focused on destroying the apartheid in the country, which focused on racial segregation enforced by the law. Mandela studied law and became one of South Africa's first black lawyers. He was elected leader of the youth wing of the African National Congress Liberation Movement in the 1950s. Mandela was imprisoned from 1962 till 1990 for treason and conspiracy, and he was sentenced to life in prison but was released early when the ANC became legal again. He received a Nobel Peace Prize in 1993 for destroying the apartheid regime peacefully. He died in 2013, and he still remains one of the most important people ever. Number 7. Nikola Tesla. Tesla was born in 1856 in Smiljan, today's Croatia. He was a Serbian inventor, engineer and a physicist. He gained his fame by inventing the first alternating current, which led to the Industrial Revolution. He studied math and physics but also philosophy. He was a big activist for nature, and he advocated reusable energy sources. Tesla was also a big humanist, and he worked toward better quality of human living. Tesla had photogenic memory, which allowed him to memorize whole books within minutes. He had severe insomnia, and slept only 2 hours a day. Tesla moved to New York in 1884. Him and Thomas Edison weren't enemies, in fact, they worked together for some time. In 1895, his New York lab burned down and years of notes were destroyed. He lived his last decades in a New York hotel, working on new inventions, but his energy and mental health got only worse. He died alone, and in poverty, in his hotel room in 1934. Still, he is one of the most important inventors who ever lived, and there is a museum dedicated to him in Belgrade. Number 6 on our list is Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln was born in 1809 in Kentucky. He was self-taught in law, and passed the bar examination in 1836. After, he moved to Springfield and worked as a lawyer. There, he met Mary Todd, and they married in 1842. They had 4 children together, but only one of them lived to adulthood. He started his political career and became congressman in 1846, and in 1854, he denounced slavery, calling the institution a violation of basic tenets of the Declaration of Independence. After that, Lincoln ran for Senate again, and campaigned unsuccessfully. In 1860, Republicans chose him as candidate for president, and he won the election. He was named 16th President of the United States, and soon after his inauguration the Civil War began. On the 14th of April 1865, he was shot in the head by John Wilkes Booth. His assassination made him a national martyr. Number 5 on our list is Leonardo da Vinci. He was an Italian high Renaissance painter, draftsman, engineer, scientist, theorist, sculptor, and architect, an epitome of the Renaissance man. He is most famous for his paintings, but he is surely one of the most important people that ever lived. He was born in Italy in 1452. He was largely self-educated. From the age of 14 he was an apprentice at a local sculptor and painter's shop. He moved to Milan to work for Sforza family, and under their patronage he painted the Last Supper. He spent 17 years in Milan. He was also fascinated by the human body, and his anatomical drawings helped lay the basis for modern scientific illustration. Da Vinci also spent 10 months working as a senior military architect and general engineer, and during this period he created many topographic maps and city plans. He left Italy at the age of 65, and spent his last years in France. He died in 1519, at the age of 67, and was buried near the Palace Church. Some of his most famous works are Mona Lisa, The Last Supper, Salvator Mundi, and Vitruvian Man. Next on the list and number 4 is Adolf Hitler. Hitler was an Austrian-German politician, who led Germany from 1933 until his death in 1945. He rose to power as a leader of the Nazi Party, and became Chancellor in 1933, assuming the title of Führer in 1934. During his dictatorship, he initiated World War II in Europe, by invading Poland in 1939. He was involved with military operations throughout war, and was central to the preparation of the Holocaust, the genocide of about 6 million Jews, and millions of other victims. Hitler also wanted to be an artist, but was rejected 2 times at the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna. He was Times Man of the Year in 1938. He also survived numerous assassination attempts. Finally, he committed suicide in 1945, after it became clear that Germany will lose the Battle of Berlin. His wife Eva Braun also committed suicide and died on the same day. Hitler is not a person who is loved in the world, but global hate towards him made him one of the most famous people, and therefore, he got the place on this list. Number 3. Albert Einstein. He was a German theoretical physicist, widely acknowledged as one of the greatest and most influential physicists of all time. Einstein was best known for developing the theory of relativity, and for his contributions to the development of the theory of quantum mechanics, which are the pillars of modern physics. In 1921, Einstein received a Nobel Prize in Physics. His intellectual achievements resulted in Einstein being the synonym for genius. Einstein also lived in Switzerland, Czechia, and eventually the USA. His theory of relativity helped scientists understand how the universe works. He was married to Mileva Maric, but they divorced in 1919. He died in 1955, in the United States. To this day, he is considered most genius person that ever lived. Number 2. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was an American singer, songwriter, dancer, and philanthropist. He was nicknamed the King of Pop, and is regarded as one of the most significant figures of the 20th century. He was born in 1958. He is one of the most awarded music artists in history, with his 13 Grammy Awards, 6 Brit Awards, 5 Billboard Music Awards, and more. He was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice. Michael Jackson also suffered from vitiligo, a skin condition which causes depigmentation, occurring in patches. His net worth became even bigger after his death, and in 2018, the Forbes magazine ranked him highest paid deceased celebrity in the world. He also had a petting zoo in his house with 2 llamas. Jackson died in 2009 of cardiac arrest. He will always be remembered for his work and musical career, which included some of his greatest hits like Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean and Smooth Criminal. Number 1 on our list is no other than Jesus. Jesus Christ is certainly the most recognizable name in history. He is also known as Jesus of Nazareth or the Son of God. He is a central figure in Christianity, one of the largest religions. Most Christians believe that he is Son of God and awaited Messiah, as prophesied by the Hebrew Bible. According to the New Testament, he was conceived by the Holy Spirit and born of a virgin named Mary. All modern scholars agree that Jesus existed historically. His life was described in the Gospels that are written by his disciples, and the 4 Gospels are part of the New Testament. Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, after which he began his own ministry. He engaged in healings and taught his people through parables. He was arrested and tried by Jewish authorities, turned over to the Roman government, and finally crucified by Pontius Pilate, Roman prefect of Jerusalem. So that is our list of the 10 most famous people in history. Let us know what you think in the comments. Share who you think should be on this list and comment on what we can make for our next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Those ropes taut. Curing peg in. Stay ropes loose!
Forgive them, Father. They don't know what they do.
He has saved others. Let him save himself.